All right, ShopDog says welcome back. Just a short night real quick. I have actually not been filming because I didn't know how this was going to go. And have gotten the horn all set up, I think. I thought I heard it squeak once and heard the relay click. 3 different problems. I'll show them to you in a minute. Let's see if I can make this beep again. Okay, so you heard that beep. Well, there's a couple things. One, the wire on the connector for the horn, in fact, it's right here. This one, cavity 28 here, that black wire that came pre-made, the black one was pushed back. You know, the lock tab didn't lock. And of course, with it being way up in there, you'd never know it. So, got that. And then the second problem I had is this from them is on pin G. The one from I Did It is on the next pin over. And that's in a great spot. You know, right there. So, took all of that. And, you know, an hour and a half later, it works. So, that's all I wanted to hear the other day when the kids were here, was the horn beeping. So let me turn this off. No point in wasting battery. Okay, so I will continue monkeying on little things. I will try to remember to turn the camera on once in a while. And ShopDog's going to enjoy his nap. Okay, an awful lot of work later. I found I have to actually swap the headlights side to side to get the halos to work. It's just the way they're programmed, and I couldn't redo it in the phone. So, I've got them swapped. I'm getting ready to put the other bezels on. So, I think this video is like 2 minutes long, and I've already been out here for 2 hours. So, okay. That's what those look like in the orange. So, I can get the color even closer. But I'm really going to want to do it with the hood closed and everything and really play and get the color matched really, really close. And then, if you recall, we're just going to add a switch. Remember, we've got that. We're going to add a relay. And then we've got a wire in here. And we'll add a switch. I'm starting to think about how switching has to happen in here. So, that's going to have to happen so we can turn the halos on and off. I think that'll look okay. Okay, so we've got the bezel on. You can see that's working. So, ShopDog says, get back to work, you bum. Okay, another thing that's been bothering me is the clocking of the steering wheel. So, I'm working on trying to get it turned so these are a little more even. And so that when we tilt the wheel, it actually goes up and not off to the side. Just finding all the things I gotta loosen. It's not a straightforward thing to do. I hope I'm not working back there. Really hope I don't have to work back there. Well, as you can probably see, I had to get up in there and in here. So, and I got a strap wrench on there. And now I think I've got her set where I want her. So I'm gonna lock it all back down. But now when the steering wheel goes up, it goes up and not off to the side a little bit. So, feeling pretty happy with that. Okay, we've been going through some wiring, deciding how we're doing things. I've been thinning some harnesses. So for the main harness, these are the only signals we're going to need. I'll show you what they are. Okay, over here where there's less wire to look at. So, for the main harness, obviously we're going to need our main power in and our main ground. Those go to the battery. We're going to need our switched ignition. That's going to go to the HEI bat terminal. We need our coil, which is going to go to our HEI tack terminal. We need our trigger for our fuel pump, as well as our feed line. It's just the way we ran it for the fuel pump. So those will go. That is these two wires right here. That'll be these. This, of course, is the power feed for bat on the HEI. This normally would go to the tack on the HEI, but the Sniper has a buffer and sets it up. So I'll show you that on the next harness. These are the only 3 wires on the auxiliary harness we're going to use. I took everything else out. I didn't have the fancy pin blockers that they normally use, those orange ones. Well, I had 2. So I cut down some weather pack ones and stuffed in there. That'll still do the job. In fact, they'll do it really well to keep that all safe, because we're only using fan 1's trigger, fan 2's trigger, and then that output over to the coil on the Dakota. So that'll be this thin wire here, the brown one. So that is everything I've got to get hooked up to make the Sniper work, except the O2 sensor, which isn't actually in yet. This is going to have to go up on a lift, and we'll weld that in. So it needs the O2 sensor. The other thing it's going to need, one, I've got to find a way I'm going to protect the end of that so that gets dropped down for the O2. And then it needs the CAN connector for the handheld, which I have routed here up over the heating duct and all around. What I want to do is avoid a zip tie on that so that we can kind of move it around. And okay, she's sitting right here. So for now, plenty of length for us to figure out where to put that. The other thing I started looking at is, you know, what's this going to look like with a radio? I may have to lengthen those wires on that. So when you look at the size of the radio and just where you'd be able to reach it anyway, we're probably looking at something more like this. So you can kind of see that. So it's probably going to be at an angle like that, which means all these switches are going to have to either be here or here. So I think we'll wind up lengthening some of those wires. And while it's as easy as it's going to get, nothing gets easier at this point. Yeah, at this point, I think that's where I'm at for the night. I am going to do a fast edit on this and make this one simple. It's a real bummer that these two things aren't in plane with each other. That drives me crazy. Oh! And do a little tidy up, but I think that's gonna be enough for tonight. And then of course I've still got to do, you know, the power feeds and everything in here and get the battery stuff sorted out. And of course got to wire in the alternator. You know, it's a one wire, so you know, you just gotta flip the throttle when you turn it on and the field will kick in. So I need the 2 relays for the fans, the relay for the halos, and God, I think that's about where we're at. So we're getting there. I do still have, oh, here's some of the wires I pulled out. I still have some of these in stock because I know I mention it all the time. I really like being able to just pull a relay out for both maintenance and troubleshooting. So it adds a couple dollars to the build. You know, I mean, it's not much, but it's 10, 20 bucks when you're going through this much work. Makes your life easier. In fact, you know, you can see it. And remember, this car is actually finally due for wiring. But you can see, you know, this way, you can just pop a relay or swap something. If you want to disable something, makes it really nice. So that's kind of where we're at for tonight. So, ShopDog's bored. He's had enough. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Just remember, ShopRex always says safety first.